Here is the Connect Systems CS800D radio, but it also is DMR. It's dual band. It has 2 meter and 70 centimeter. It comes with an N connector, so I have a converter from N to PL259, and it has a power connector that's standard, so your standard mobile power connections will work just fine. It comes with a Kenwood style mic. It's got the CSI brand on it. It's a very solid, heavy mic. And the nice thing about the mic is that the mic actually plugs into the head of the radio. If you look on the front of the radio, you will see where the mic goes. And then you'll notice that the head actually is removable. You pull this lever down and the head slides off, and you can use a Category 5 network cable to extend the head. It is a straight through cable. There are 2 programming cables that come with the Connect Systems. One of them has what appears to be a VGA connector on one end and USB on the other. The sockets are available from the Connect System website. On mobile, you have a P1 and the power, and the directions up here are clearly P1 plus power. So that's how we're going to update the firmware. So we're going to go ahead and turn the radio off by holding the power button. And when the radio is off, we're going to push P1 and the power. And now we're in program mode. Okay, so the driver's done installing. And we've got the flash burn selected. And we'll go ahead and hit flash. Now the radio is entering boot mode and it's upgrading. As you can see, the lines moving across the screen. And when this is done, we'll have the latest version of the firmware on the radio. Ideally, you do not want to update the firmware unless there's a need for it. There are some bugs in the radio and some have been fixed, but a lot of those bugs really don't apply to the things that most amateurs use, so it would almost be useless for most of us to actually run the upgrade. So the radio will now reset. So we'll turn the radio back on. And then we'll go into the menu system and we'll look at the settings. It's actually radio info is what I probably meant to look at. And there's the firmware version. Now we're on 10.09, which is the latest firmware. As you can see, 10.09 is the latest firmware. And we're going to go ahead and install the CPS program. And go ahead and run on the bottom here. Yes, I approve. Go ahead and minimize the rest of this. I'll hit next. I'm going to take the defaults for almost everything. I'm going to create a quick launch icon, and then I'll install. Now, I've already actually programmed this radio, but the first thing you should always do on these radios is go to read from the radio and click OK. And the radio's actually being read by the software as we speak. So ideally on a brand new radio, this will give you a blank file to upload. So the read was successful, and the radio info should be your serial number, your model number, and the firmware versions, and all that wonderful stuff. Then go ahead and hit Save As, and put base AC 9HP underscore CS800D. So I'll do a file new, and we're going to do CS800D, click OK. Are you sure to create a new one? Yes. Now I have a brand new file that I can write to the radio. So the first thing I want to do is go to my settings and change the alias of the radio to my call sign. And this is actually just power on messages. So you can put whatever you want here. There's not enough room for that message. I'll just put my name. My radio ID 3118115, and the rest of the stuff I'll just take defaults. The menus, we don't need the encryption menu. You can hide the different menus from the radio's perspective. So here's the mic gain. I'm not sure what level that should be. We'll leave defaults for now. The buttons allow you to program your front panel buttons, and we'll just leave those alone for now. So next we have conventional. You have zones, channels. Under DMR services you have the receive groups and the contacts. So let's go to analog channels and go to their first example channel, and we're going to put in W9R IRA, normal squelch level, and what, 25K, no scan list. The receive is 146.700. The offset is 0.06. Oh, my period didn't take. We'll hit apply, and it went the wrong direction. So I gotta put the minus sign in front of that. There's no tones on this repeater. There is a timeout timer I'd like to set. About 2 minutes is long enough, and that is good enough for this channel. Hit add. We can add a second channel. Second channel I want to add is W9RCA, and yes, that's the RCA company's ham club in town here. 25. Their repeater is 146.880. Same offset. They do have a tone, but not for receive. And I don't know if they actually use the tone on the transmit side anymore. They used to, but it's 88.5 either way. Because it's a fusion repeater, they do have a receive tone, and that'll help block out fusion signals. And the timeout timer we'll put to 120. So we now have 2 analog contacts, and we have our zone up here. It's called zone 1. We'll change zone 1 to analog Indy West. Both channels are going to become a member of that zone. I'm going to skip that digital channel for now. So we have these 2 in here, and now we'll go ahead and we'll program right to radio. Click OK. And this is how you program analog stations into a CS800D. This process is actually quite simple. Okay, so now our radio is programmed, and we'll go ahead and power it on. There's my message with my name and my call sign, and we're in the only zone on there on low power, and we should have more than one channel. There's the RCA with high power, and that's the only zone we have. So if we click on here, go to zones, and that's our zone. So there's the RCA repeater. AC9HP. Doesn't sound like there's anyone on. The other repeater is much busier. AC9HP. Was that you, Gary? KA9ZYL, AC9HP.
me. I kind of got that dongle working. I didn't take another day playing around. Not happy with how it receives. It's probably doing okay though.
This is the W9 IRA repeater, Indianapolis, Indiana.
I understand, yeah, that dongle, what I had to do was just take the antenna and get it up high, much higher than the radio or the computer, and then it seemed to receive a little bit better.
Sure, it's much better. I don't downloaded another version to the phone. It's not worth it.
I was just testing the CS800D. How's it sounding on that end? You keep dropping out of the repeater for some reason. I didn't quite get you that time, but I heard your call sign at the end. So I don't know. Maybe it's my end. Well, since that last conversation didn't go so well, I'm going to try the Echolink repeater here and see how it does. So I got to connect first. AC9HP.
Connecting to conference ECHOTEST W9RCA connected server. This server records your transmissions and plays them back to help you adjust your transmitted and received audio. Please feel free to connect as often as you like.
AC9HP testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
AC9HP testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That sounds like we have a good connection. Alright, next we're going to go into programming a DMR frequency. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up a DMR website to look at. We'll pull up the Brandmeister dashboard and we'll find our Hendricks County repeater. So I search for Brandmeister, there's the dashboard. And looks like we can see that okay. We're going to hit repeaters. And then we're going to search for our repeater. WX9HC is a local repeater. Looks like it's taking some time here. There's the repeater. WX9HC, Danville. The frequency's 444575. And it's color code 1. And it's a positive offset. So we're going to go to our CSI software. We'll go to digital contact, or channel rather. And our channel is going to be, we'll do Indiana State first. Color code 1. Time slot may be specific on this repeater. We'll go ahead and click on the repeater. And it should show us some time slot details over here. So it looks like 3118 is locked to time slot 2. So we'll go ahead and make that time slot 2. And we don't have that talk group set up yet. I kind of skipped ahead. We'll go back to contacts, and there's contact 1. We'll change that to Indiana State. It's a group call, and it's 3118. And we'll go ahead and add another one. We'll add TAC 310. That's a group call, and its number's 310. But we'll go back now to Indiana State, and we'll do our frequency, which was 444.575. 444.575. We have a positive of a 5 offset. You hit apply, it updates that frequency for you. We're not going to do a receive group. We're doing Indiana State for the contact. And we're not doing an emergency system. High power always wants to change it to color code. And that should do it. We can do a timeout timer of 120. And that finishes our Indiana State. We'll hit plus. We're going to do the same repeater, 444.575. Apply. This is going to be TAC 310. I don't think TAC 310 has a specific time slot. It's not. If you look here, the scheduled task, or scheduled static rather, I guess since it is a static, even though it's scheduled, we'll go ahead and put on time slot 1. So we'll leave that at time slot 1, change this to TAC 310, and timeout timer to 120. You could change that to more if you want. And now we want to go to our zone. So we'll go to zones, we'll click add, double click on our zone. In our zone we want Indiana State and TAC 310, we'll add them. We'll take out the analog station, we'll call this zone WX9HC. And now we have 2 DMR channels in one zone programmed, and we'll go ahead and write that to the radio. Go into the menu, so we'll go to zones, Indy analog, WX9HC. Click on that zone, and we now have an Indiana State DMR group zone up. And we'll go ahead and call out AC9HP, AC9HP testing, AC9HP testing.
KB9EK, Indiana State listening.
KB9EKA, AC9HP. You there, Tony? AC9HP.
AC9HP, KB9EK.
Oh, there you are, Tony. How are you doing this afternoon or evening?
Yeah, for some reason you're like really quiet on this machine. I'm not sure what's going on. KB9EKA.
Well, thanks for the feedback. Let me adjust my mic gain. It's a new radio, and after I adjust the mic gain, give me a minute to reboot, and I'll try again.
It sounds good. It's a little bit quiet. I got my volume turned all the way up, and you were like really quiet. Could be almost like you're about 50% quiet.
Alright, I'm going to go ahead and program it. Give me 1 minute, I'll be right back. AC9HP. So I actually doubled the mic gain. It was at 8, I set it to 15. So actually not quite double, but pretty darn close. Radio's rebooting. Volume's back up to high. Crank that down. Change our zone back. KB9 EKA AC9 HP.
Much better. You're a lot louder, KB9EK.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm programming the radio, and I wondered what the right setting would be for the gain. I kind of guessed, and I guess I guessed wrong. AC9 HP.
Okay, y'all want the radio out of these radios, or what?
No, this is the Connect Systems CS800D, and actually it's a mobile unit. And I have it on high power. I should probably go change that to low power since I'm indoors and probably don't need high power to hit the repeater.
Yeah, go to low power. If you're running high power, you're probably at 25 watts, and you're full watting. But yeah, go to 5 watts. So what you got?
All right, I'm going to write the ROM again, so I'll be right back. AC9 HP. All right, the radio's rebooting. KB9 EKA AC9 HP. KB9 EKA AC9 HP.
AC9 HP, KB9 EK, sounding good. It sounds good on my end. Typical, I want to say DMR, but sounds really good.
So this is my second Brandmeister channel, and it's Tony's frequency, which is W9AMT. So I'm just going to do W for Tony, and then I'm going to do Indiana State, and that's going to let me know this is Tony's Indiana State. And we discovered by looking at this that Indiana State's on time slot 2. So we'll go to time slot 2, and his repeater is 442-100, I think. 441-200. So gotta change that. 441.200. Offset's 5. We're gonna do Indiana State, and we're gonna do low power. And again, 120 timeout. And that's Indiana State. And then we're gonna go ahead and add TAC 310 on his as well. So W, and then TAC 310. And 310 was time slot 1 right here. So we go over here and we type in 441.200, hit the offset. TAC 310 is already selected. Low power, go to 120. I'm going to go fix these and make these all both low power as well. And Indiana State already is. These analog can also be low power. And we'll go to zone, add, double click on the zone, W9AMT. This is the UHF, so call it UND for UHF-ND. And we're going to do TAC 310, get rid of that one. And we're good to write. Program, write to radio. My radio's in the process of rebooting after I added Tony's repeater. I've added TAC 310. And I've set Indiana State on his as well. So I'm going to switch zones. Turn the volume down. That is pretty obnoxious, but I'm not that picky. Okay, W9AMT, UND. And Indiana State's up. I'm going to key down to TAC 310. Looks like I see some activity going on the repeater. Doesn't appear to be mine. I'm going to go ahead and call up AC9HP. It's a push to talk, so it wouldn't surprise me if we start hearing people. We did not. I'll hit refresh. If you look real close when this comes up, we should see my call on the repeater, but we don't. Let me try that again. AC9HP.
AC9HP, Candy 6, ZYJ returning.
Well, good evening. Name here is Wayne. I'm testing out a CS800 radio, and just was trying to actually just see it come up on the Brandmeister network on the kind of watch that they have, but that part doesn't seem to be working quite right.
Roger that way. The name here is Scott. Location is Apple Valley, California. And I'm on an MD380. I just got an open spot hooked up here, actually.
So there I
I
am.
was hoping I'd be able to get into one of the only local repeater to me, really. But I don't think they have any Brandmeister links, actually. So I think I'm out of luck with that. But I'm enjoying this nonetheless.
Well, Scott, nice to meet you. Name here's Wayne, and I had an MD380 for a little while, but I moved on to a mobile. We have quite a few repeaters around here. I do have one of the DV4 mini dongles, but I haven't explored that a whole lot. With so many repeaters, it almost doesn't make sense to, but I can see how that would be pretty useful.
Where I am here, Wayne, it's pretty rural, and there's only one repeater within range, actually. And I also have an MD 9600, but I'm on the 380 right now. But I can't quite get into the repeater. I can key the repeater from my location, but not enough to get audio in. So I was hoping I might be able to get in with the hotspot, but I don't think they have any Brandmeister links on the repeater. So I think I'm out of luck at that end. It's always the way. But I have to say, with all the other links that Brandmeister has, this is really a blast. And setup for the open spot was almost plug and play.
A good deal. Yeah, I've been tempted by that RF Shark device that's out. I haven't spent too much time looking at it, but it looked pretty tempting too. So your local repeater must be a DMR Mark repeater then, or is it another network out that way?
Wayne, it's a DMR Mark repeater. This is a Shark RF open spot, actually. Seems to be working well. Just can't get into the repeater I'd like to get into to speak with some of my other friends on the other side of the valley, but or at least in other areas, I should say, not on the other side of the valley. But life goes on, and who knows? Maybe in the future they'll get linked to Brandmeister. I don't think they are at this point. I'm going to actually send the repeater owner an email and ask them about it.
So that was a nice little QSO that we had there. And as you see, I did show up the watch here. And it shows you where I was talking to and what time slot I was on, what mode I was on, my RSSI.